So the Atlanta Falcons getting two of my favorite players in this draft class. Drake London I had as my wide receiver 2, 17th prospect overall, so a little bit later than they drafted him, but in this ballpark, very good player, very high on him. And Arnold Ebiketie, who I had as a mid-first round talent, goes here early in the second. You're going to see this once we watch the film, but he's just someone, I keep saying this because it's true, he just wins. He just gets a lot of pressures. If you're an analytics fan, which if you've been watching this channel, I at least like that stuff. I think it's interesting to look at. And all those analytics things that, he does well that translate to the NFL level, like pass rush win rate, which translates well to the NFL level, he's very good at. He checks off all of those statistical boxes, and his tape's great as well. So let's talk about what I like about him so much. So let's start off with this play. This is an interesting play, and kind of just, start to show just what I like about Ebiketie as a whole. He just seemingly has every aspect you want in a pass rusher. The first of which, of course, he wins consistently, but that's going to be tough to show on a film study because unless I'm going to show 100 plays. However, you certainly see, even on his wins, they're impressive wins, and this is an example. So going up one-on-one against the left tackle, and watch what's going to happen. Right off the bat, you're going to see some real explosiveness right in the beginning of this play, which allows him to kind of get the placement that he wants. For a left tackle, what's the important thing? The important thing is going to be his left hand. Try to get his left hand as far over to Ebiketie as he can, and ideally get it sort of on the right shoulder pad, right pec area, somewhere on that side of his body. But he can't really get over there because Ebiketie took this bit of a wide turn. And again, he can use his speed to his advantage. And he's just kind of a tough guy to push once you get to this spot. Because if you don't get the hand placement you need, he's too strong. And you're not going to be able to just stop him in his tracks. Look, as you see, he doesn't get slowed down hardly at all and is able to make that tackle. So just a great play by Ebiketie. And again, it's not about just doing it once. It's that he can consistently win in ways like this, and these are the things that he is good at. Now, right off the bat, I should mention one of his negatives. His negative is, you're drafting him because of his pass rushing. You're not drafting him because of his run defense. His run defense leaves a little bit to be desired, I would say. He definitely can get beat at times, and this is an example where you see where he is on the field and watch what happens. Look, as you see, he is going to get, he gets pushed out of the way. Not ideal there. I'm not going to sit here and say he's like a completely trash player in the running game, but he definitely, that's not his strong suit by any means, and you don't draft him because of his run stopping ability. That's just not something that you do. All right, anyways, let's go over here. Let's start talking about more positives. This time he's going up one-on-one against a left tackle, and I want to talk more about just kind of the way that he can win. Again, what you like is a guy who can win in several different ways, and he has a very good rip move. In fact, sometimes I argue that he kind of relies on that move a bit too much at times. It's kind of the one maybe critique I would have, but it's a good move. And here's an example of it where what's going to happen on this play is that he is going to be doing the rip move. So if you don't know what that is, you see where he's going up one-on-one against the left tackle. Watch what happens. Again, as you see, he's going to use that good first step, and you see how he gets his left arm just underneath that left arm, right? Like we said, left tackle, the important arm to pay attention to is going to be, for the left tackle, it's the left arm. For the right tackle, it's the right arm. And so being able to pull off a rip move, what it can do is it just makes it, that arm doesn't really work out as well. It kind of gets into the neck area, which you're still allowed to hold on to at that point. Holding kind of becomes legal in that spot. That's the rule. But still, it just can work out really well, and these are moves that work at the NFL level. Again, you see him get over and get a half second away from creating a sack right there. So for Ebiketie, the fact that he can do that move, that just feels like that's a move that's going to work at the NFL level, which you like to see. It's just something that's like, yeah, that'll work at the NFL level. Again, does he rely on it a bit too much and do it a bit too often? I think so, but it's a good move, so I get why he does it. And again, part of why he relied on it so much in college is because it worked so much in college. Maybe at the NFL level, he'll figure out other moves when he has to. And again, going over to something like this, I don't want to make it seem like that's all he had in his arsenal. That's, his best move, but it's not his only move. And this is another example. Again, going up against the left tackle, and watch what's going to happen here. You see how Ebiketie kind of is going to get his left arm on the right shoulder pad. And this is something you can do, especially if you're having success getting on the outside, is eventually do an inside pass rush move. And it's what he's doing here, where he's going to kind of just try to use power now to see if he can get himself a pressure, and watch how it works out. As you see, he does overpower the left tackle and is able to get over and get the sack. So again, it's not like he only has one move. He can win in a plethora of different ways, and this is a great example of just him being able to do exactly that. Finally, going over to something like this, one more one-on-one matchup, another example of just what he can do well. It's kind of a similar play to that last one, and I want to, harp on these because this is good. I think it's really important sometimes when you're evaluating pass rushers is like, okay, what's your best move, and then how can you branch off of that? So his best move is his rip move. That's his best move. But how does he branch off of it? Well, by sometimes getting these inside pass rush moves, using power to get himself a pressure because guys are trying to make sure they get over because you're having so much success with your rip move. Look, as you see right when this play begins, you see how once again he's going to get that left arm on that right side of the tackle's body. So at this point, what are you going to do? I mean, for Ebiketie, he could do that rip move still at this point. He still has the potential to make that happen. So if you're a tackle, what do? You don't want to get burned that way. You can't leave yourself open for the rip move. So you do kind of want to make sure you're still prepared for that. But again, then he can overpower you and get to the quarterback for a pressure there. So it's almost like a worse Khalil Mack is how I would phrase it. Almost like Khalil Mack light in a way, where obviously he's not Khalil Mack, but like you see some of the same tendencies, and certainly stylistically, that's what he can do. The pass rush stuff is legitimately good and really will pop on tape. Listen, there was some talk about, do the Falcons go edge rusher at number 8? It was a need of them. They needed to get pressure. More pressure than they got last year. There's no denying that. And, part of that is they could use a better secondary as well. AJ Terrell and Grady Jarrett can't be an entire defense. Well, this is just another guy to help out. The Atlanta Falcons are a bit away. I thought they might go with a quarterback in this round, but they said, you know what? No, we want to get the pieces, get the surrounding talent. It's a good quarterback draft next year, or maybe they just like Marcus Mariota. I don't know, but I like the player a lot, so that's why I'm going to be a fan of it. I wouldn't have hated if they went quarterback and took a flyer on Malik Willis, who's still on the board, but I don't hate this either. I think that this is a really you're getting a really talented player and someone who I think could be a day one starter and a guy who has like Pro Bowl potential. I think I've heard some could he be a unique Ngakoue type? I could see it. They're a little bit differently stylistic, but I could see something like that, at least that kind of valuable player. He's just a really talented player, and I think it's a good move. So good move by Atlanta, getting some talented guys. That's what I think about all of this. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on Arnold Ebiketie going to the Atlanta Falcons? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.